What's happening? Andy here. I am joined today by Dino Pagliarello from Konica Minolta. How are you doing, Dino?
Pretty good, Andy. How are you?
Oh, I'm awesome as always. So good to see you. I have known you, Dino, for, geez, I think it's probably got to be close to 20 years by now. I had a lot more hair. You still have all your hair. I don't know what the secret is. Maybe it's the KM toner, or I don't know. But you're in New Jersey. Is that where you're locked down or spending your days nowadays?
Yes, in beautiful Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey.
Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey. So pandemic, everything is probably not a whole lot different than it is here. Still not going to the office. Are you going to the office? What's happening with all the KM people?
Yeah, we're still working from home since early March. But believe it or not, still very productive, getting a lot done, and working hard. So we're just Zoom after Zoom on the hour. But hey, we do really want to get back to the office when we can. We're missing that collaboration piece and being able to have, your team meetings and, see people face to face. But in the meantime, we're taking advantage of Zoom and doing everything we can virtually.
So first off, I need to congratulate you. You just got a promotion, Senior Vice President, Product Management and Planning. That was part of a big reorg that Konica Minolta just had. You announced it back on, I think, July 12th. So that's awesome. Before that, you were running the production program, if I remember correctly. So now you have a broader umbrella that you're holding there, and so tell us what's under your domain now.
Yeah, thanks, Andy, for the kudos. Actually, my job hasn't changed too much as far as the responsibility is concerned. Obviously, much more. From a higher level perspective, the responsibilities I have from a senior management perspective. But as far as what I'm managing, production print, industrial print, the office technologies, that remain the same. So now it's a matter of managing it at the senior vice president level and making sure we're in the right direction with Japan.
So lots of calls with Japan. That probably didn't change. I guess the only thing that's really changed is you probably don't have as much flight time under your belt right now at this point in the year. So maybe that's one side benefit to all this working remotely. The last time I saw you was, I'm thinking January. I think it was January or February. I think it was January. I came down. You showed me this incredible, beautiful production facility. I have a video I did of it. I'll put a link if I remember. I'll try to put a link in this interview. But you guys took me around. I haven't seen a lot of buildings like that. And all I could think of when we were setting up the Zoom is, what a shame that building is probably completely shut down and not getting a lot of action. So, but when we were kind of leading into this, you gave me another side of what's going on. So, what have you guys done with this building? What first of all, give us some background on what's in there and the size of it, because I could talk about how big it is, but it's massive. So why don't you, the scope of it, the idea, the concept, and you really actually are credited with being one of the people who put that whole program together. And it's phenomenal. So why don't you talk about the idea behind it, and then why don't we get into a little bit of what you're doing with it right now in these times where most people are staying home.
Yeah, absolutely, Andy. So we've got an 18,000 square foot facility that we have put together that pretty much showcases all of Konica Minolta's industrial and production print equipment under one roof. The main reason for putting this together was to be able to have all those technologies in one place and really show the breadth of what everything that Konica Minolta can do. Our dealers, our branches all sell parts of what we offer, but to really see everything in the full breadth, this was what needed to have to be built. And we're really excited about the fact that it is built in, hang on one second. Could you close the pause? Can we start over?
All right, we're back. We had a little situation, but keep going there, Dino.
Yeah, so we're really excited about the facility, 18,000 square feet of Konica Minolta showroom space. We pretty much have everything that KM sells under one roof. And it's exciting because it really shows the overall breadth of what Konica Minolta does. Whether it's decorative print with our MGI products, our high-speed inkjet devices, with our collaboration with Memjet and Superweb. We've got all of our toner devices, both color and black and white, our label products, as well as some of the packaging and even carton printing devices. And last but not least, our wide format, Curio wide products as well. So all in the same place under one roof. So the intention was, hey, let's use this space, bring big crowds in, have events and really take advantage. Now, obviously with COVID, we can't have big crowds, but the one thing that we've been able to do, and actually has been really exciting, is that we're actually doing virtual webinars and virtual sales events with our salespeople. And believe it or not, we're selling $1 million plus devices sight unseen through our virtual showroom. And customers aren't even asking to kick the tires. Now we're sending them samples in advance. We're doing, webinars as far as explaining to them the technologies. And then we're doing a live technology overview with the product. But at the end of the day, the result is, closing some business electronically. And the first time we physically see the customer is when we're delivering the product and setting it up.
That's amazing, and honestly, it's a tribute to the credibility you guys have built in those product categories, right? Where that somebody trusts your brand enough, and we've seen these announcements every year you win, some brand loyalty. I think you've got something, you've gone like over 10 years winning it over every year, right? And so the customers are familiar with the Konica Minolta brand, you're credible in these spaces, and they trust that, let me just see it, let me just take me through it virtually. And I trust that the output is what you're sending me. I trust that it's, and half of it's that it's your partners. You've got MGI, you've got your label partners, all the ones that you mentioned before, and they're all credible too. So, but just the process, you wonder going forward, are people going to, once we get the vaccine, once we get a little further, get this behind us more, and people are more comfortable going out, you wonder, will they come and travel? Because this facility, if I remember correctly, people were coming in, it wasn't just a local thing. People were coming in from all over the country, probably Canada, Latin America, I would even imagine, because I would think in this hemisphere, it's probably your biggest showroom, right? Like it might be globally. I don't know. Is it? It might be.
It's our North American Customer Engagement Center. It's the largest facility in North America. As a matter of fact, we have facilities throughout the world. We have a facility in Europe as well as in Tokyo, in Japan. And we're connecting the dots between those facilities and looking at potentially doing global events as well in collaboration with the other facilities. So it's a pretty cool opportunity. One of the things that's been interesting with the team doing all these virtual events is that, they're becoming better and better actors. They were always really good at doing a presentation on the product, but now to really have a good and smooth presentation for a customer, it's a collaborative effort between the product manager, the salesperson, and frankly, the customer. The customer has a lot of things they want to know about the technology. We get their questions in advance, and we're able to make it a really smooth experience for the customer where, they leave the presentation, they leave the event really satisfied as to what they wanted to know about the technology.
It's I never would have thought that you could get to this point where you could sell that type of equipment via the internet, right? I mean, it's a little more sophisticated than that. So, but it amazes me that these guys are willing to do that, because the people who are buying these are the guys, they put their hands in the machine, they want to touch it, they want to feel it, they want to, they're weird print nerds, and they want to see every little screw and feel, the quality of the metals that are used and pull the paper trays out. So to get past that is amazing. Now, what have you guys done to help facilitate this? Because I've got to think that, these probably started as, let me show you on my phone via Zoom, versus are you considering, or maybe you already have implementing like production level equipment that you can have in there that you could, roll videos. And I don't know. I mean, are you still doing it via Zoom, or is it, how are you handling it?
So we can do it pretty much via any software, whether it's Zoom, Teams, Meets, or Skype. We can pretty much manage any technology. The one thing that we've done is actually we've developed how-to guides, and what you need to do to prepare for the event is most important. You want to make sure you've sent your samples in advance, you've answered some questions in advance, you've done your webinar electronically, whether for just a presentation, answer most of the questions. When you're on the live presentation and actually showing the live technology at work, that's when you want to get into the very details of what the customer is looking for. So we have a whole layout put together for not only our branches, but also our dealer partners, so that they can do their own virtual demos. It's not just about the Customer Engagement Center in Ramsey. But if a dealer has a showroom and has some Konica Minolta technology in it, we'd be happy to provide them the technology and tools that we've developed for them to do their own virtual demos for their own showrooms as well. So yeah, that's something that we have available, and any of Konica Minolta dealers can get that from Konica Minolta and utilize the technologies that we've built.
So how would they go and get in touch with you guys to find out about implementing a strategy such as that? Is it their their local sales Konica Minolta sales rep, or would they come to a production? I mean, so their salesperson.
They talk to their account manager, their DBM is what we call it. So Konica Minolta's DBM would be able to share with them all the details that they need in order to do their own demos. So if they don't have room in their showroom for
AM1.
AM1, for example, exactly, they can do a virtual demo as well. So that's one of the things that we hope that if a dealer doesn't have room in their showroom, they can start utilizing this virtual demo capability on their own.
So you're telling me that someone's going to buy a KM1 via a Zoom call, one of those big, massive presses?
I'm telling you, not once, but twice, Andy. We've actually sold 2 KM1 sight unseen until we were delivering the technology with our service personnel to do setup.
So for you, those of you who don't know, KM1 is is Konica Minolta's flagship press. Ballpark, what does a press like that go for? We're talking, does it get up to 7 figures by the time all the bells and whistles are on it?
It does.
And so, and they've sold not 1, but 2 of them via virtual demos. So all the demo scripts, all the things that we have been working on, the training I went through in my Xerox days, it's all out the window. The Konica Minolta seems to have figured out the new way of selling, and it's virtual.
Yeah, we got to give a lot of credit to the industrial print team as well, because they do a lot of the homework, making sure the customer's aware of all the technology, the webinars, and the step process they have in order to get there. So I don't want to simplify it and say we just do a quick cell phone video and we sell a product, but they've got it down pretty good, and they're able to make it happen. So it's a really cool thing.
So any dealers with KM1 opportunities, any dealers who are maybe shying away from trying to bring up some of these conversations with customers because you don't know how you're going to show it to them, you guys have a solution, so that they should get in touch with their DBMs, and you guys can help them close those deals without ever actually even being in front of the customer.
Absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. So this has been great. I'm so happy we were finally able to put this together. We were going back and forth a while for it, and then my fault last week with some stuff with my kids. So, but we're here, we did it, and this was great. I do want to do a follow-up with you and talk to you maybe about some of the other hats that you're wearing, maybe some office stuff, and maybe get into some of the production hardware, because really, we talked about the sales process of what you're doing to enable some production sales and maybe even office sales with the demos that you told us about. Any last things you'd like to shout out to anybody, anyone you want to say hi to, or any messages for anybody?
No, just look, hey, everyone stay safe. Keep doing what you're doing. The print industry has legs, and we're going to make sure that we all do our part to keep it alive and well. So thanks, Andy, for the time, and I look forward to talking to you again.
This was awesome, Dino. Congrats again, and we will talk soon. Take care.
All right. Thanks a lot, Andy.
Bye-bye.